The long-abandoned Dahe Mall at Bois d'Auge is now teeming with construction activity as the UWP administration focuses its attention on the redevelopment and reconstruction of the derelict building. However, the Saint Lucia Labor Party has blasted the Alan Chasney-led administration, which in 2016 made known its intention for the property with an asking price of over $35 million. According to the SLP, such commitments should not be made on behalf of the people of Saint Lucia in the waning days of the UWP government.
Parliament has 1 month left, and it is not a time for more borrowing or for more commitments to be made.
Deputy political leader of the SLP, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, during a press conference held on Wednesday, June 16th, alleged that despite the promises to renovate the building, the structure remains in a dilapidated state.
The building remained abandoned ever since 2001, ever since 2006, that is for 15 years. With government having to repay a loan on its purchase. It means that government would have paid over $45 million on this investment by 2020. Of course, you'll recall it was praised in 2006 by the then Minister of Tourism and now Prime Minister Alan Chasney as a wise investment. And of course, nothing happened to that building for 15 years.
The SLP claims in 2020 the land and building was sold by Amazona Properties, a government holding firm, to Orange Plaza Limited for $13.5 million.
We lost over $30 million on that sale alone.
But back in March 2021, Prime Minister Alan Chasney said that the government, after selling a portion of the land and building, was now looking to rent the second and third floor of the structure.
Many persons have done a structural assessment of the property. So structurally, the property is fine. We have sold the ground floor, and we have maintained ownership of the upper 2 floors. And we've just signed a lease agreement where we've agreed to lease the property, and the person who's developing the ground floor will now reconstruct that entire building.
Okay.
And the goal is that we would either give it to Invest Saint Lucia for renting out to call centers, or possibly government offices, or a mixture of the two. We have a major call center company. It's one of the largest in the world that have now agreed to come to Saint Lucia, and that's one of the sites that we're going to be showing them. So construction on that property should be beginning within the next 2 weeks of development. And then right next to it, the unfinished piece on the right.
Yes, on the side, yeah.
There's been discussions with the developer to go and look at putting the regional court there.
However, despite the optimism of the ruling UWP, the SLP has cast doubt on what they claim is another ill-advised real estate property-driven commitment made by a government which has been dogmatic in its pro-growth agenda at the expense of St. Lucian taxpayers.
It means that our taxpayers will be paying $56.4 million in rent over the next 15 years of that agreement. $56.4 million in rent over the next 15 years of that agreement. More so, we have to pay our portion of the utilities and maintenance and management of the land and buildings. The management fee for maintenance of the land and building is 10% of our portion. So in addition to paying the rent of $313,000 a month, we have to pay utilities, our portion of utilities, our portion of maintenance of the land and buildings, plus a 10% management fee for the maintenance of the land and buildings.
The SLP claims that having the taxpayers pick up the tab of an estimated $60+ million in a 15-year span for an ill-fated 17,400 square feet of property at Bois d'Auge does not add up, insisting that the current government halt any new commitments in the name of the people of Saint Lucia with election nigh. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.